Hi everyone, I'm Bubbles from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a fourfold piece. This piece is made up of the main part, edging and sleeves. First, crochet the main part. Once completed, add the edging. Finally, crochet the sleeves. Let's start by learning how to crochet the main part. It consists of a corresponding number of motif 1 and motif 2. First, crochet each motif separately, then join them together according to the motif layout diagram. Now let's learn how to crochet motif 1. Use the adjustable magic ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise from the beginning chain. The stitches used are single crochet, double crochet, chain and slip stitch. Now, let's show. For easier viewing, I'll demonstrate with a different color yarn. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Then work round 1. Make 1 chain. Then work 1 single crochet into the magic ring loop. If you can't find the position of the first single crochet, place a stitch marker on that stitch. To mark it, if you don't have stitch markers, you can use safety pins or paper clips instead. Then work 2 chains. Continue to work single crochets into the magic ring loop. Between each 2 SC, work 2 chains. Keep going until you complete the 4th single crochet. Once completed, make 1 chain, slightly stretch the loop, then close the magic ring. Pull tight the starting tail of the yarn. Then pick up the stitch mark with a slip stitch. That's the stitch you marked earlier. The oval solid dot means the slip stitch should not be pulled too tight. You'll need this yarn later, so don't cut it off. Leave it at the back of the piece. Pause crocheting. That's it for round 1. Move on to round 2. Make 1 chain as the turning chain for single crochet. Because this round will be crocheted with a different color yarn, take the corresponding color yarn. Hook the yarn out. The beginning chain is now completed. Gently tighten the original yarn. Then work 1 single crochet in the back loop only of the slip stitch. The back loop is the strand of the stitch that's farther from you. The strand closer to you is the front loop. The crochet method for the first stitch is slightly special. Weave in the yarn tails as you crochet. Later, if you're able to, identify the position of the first single crochet stitch. You can skip making a marker. Next, work 1 single crochet in the first single crochet below, that is, the insertion point of the slip stitch. Also pick the back loop only for this single crochet. When you reach the corner chain space, on the adjacent chain to the left, again pick the back loop only and work a single crochet. For this round, all single crochets are worked in the back loop only. Then work 2 chains. Continue by working 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches on the left side. Each stitch corresponds to a stitch below. These 3 stitches below are a chain, a single crochet, and a chain. Once completed, work 2 chains. Make 1 single crochet in each of these 3 corresponding stitches. Then work 2 chains. In the next 3 adjacent stitches, continue to make 1 single crochet in each. Once completed, work 1 chain. Then join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. Do not pull too tight. Note: the yarn being held is placed behind the fabric piece. Similarly, do not cut off this yarn. That concludes round 2. Now let's begin crocheting round 3. For convenience in explanation, we'll refer to the yarn from round 1 as color 1, and the yarn from round 2 as color 2. Use color 1 for round 3. Hold color 2 at the back, pausing its use. Make 1 beginning chain, which means pull the yarn through. Pull tight color 2. Pick up the back loop of the slip stitch, and work a single crochet. Then work a double crochet. We're crocheting into the remaining half stitch from the slip stitch in round 1. Crochet into that stitch. Insert the hook from bottom to top to pick up the yarn. The height of the double crochet should be level with the single crochet on the right. Do not make it too tall. Ensure it lies flat and looks neat. After completing, work 1 single crochet. This single crochet is worked in round 2. Again, pick up the back loop only. Remember to skip 1 stitch. Then work 1 double crochet. This double crochet also picks up the corresponding half stitch from round 1. The remaining half stitch of the chain. After completing it, work 1 single crochet. Pay attention to skip 1 stitch. Pick up the back loop of the chain stitch in round 2 and crochet into it. Then work 2 chains. Let's take a look. The single crochets are all worked in the back loop of round 2. The double crochets are skipped by 1 round. Meaning you pick up the front loop from the previous round and crochet into it. Next, continue to work this round completely. Finish with a slip stitch to join. That completes round 3. Now proceed to crochet round 4. Switch to color 2 and pull through. Tighten the original yarn. Then work 1 single crochet into the slip stitch. Pay attention to pick its back loop when crocheting. Next, work 1 double crochet. Pick up the remaining half loop of the slip stitch from the previous round above, that is, round 2. Note: the right side here is the half loop left by the chain stitch. Don't pick the wrong one. From now on, all double crochets are worked into the round before last. After completing it, work 1 single crochet, work into the back loop of the double crochet from the previous round. Continue with 1 double crochet. Pick up the remaining half loop of the corresponding single crochet from the round before last. Then work 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, pick up the corresponding chain stitch from the round before last. Next, work 1 single crochet into each corner chain space, with 2 chains between them. From now on, repeat this process. Work this round completely. Join with a slip stitch after completing. This completes the 4th round. Now move on to the 5th round. Switch to color 1 and pull through. First work 1 single crochet into the slip stitch. Then work 1 double crochet, mindful to pick up the stitch from the round before last. Then work 5 single crochets in a row. After completing, work 1 more double crochet. Then work 1 single crochet into each corner chain space. Work 2 chains between. Next, continue following the chart. Complete this round. This completes the 5th round. Next, everyone continue referring to the chart. Finish crocheting the remaining rounds of this motif later when working double crochets. Single crochets are worked into the back loop of the previous round. All endings use loose slip stitches. And each round requires a color change. Now everyone continue on your own. Once completed, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. Chain 1 to secure. For the previous yarn, leave a little tail and cut. Then thread it along the wrong side's texture to hide. You can weave in a bit more for security. Also weave in the other yarn tail. This completes one motif. Next, refer to the chart. Complete the required quantity of motif 1. That concludes the instructions for motif 1. Next, let's learn how to crochet motif 2. Start with a double magic ring, then crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. The new stitch technique used is DC3 tog, half double crochet. Below, please see the demonstration. First, make a double magic ring. Then begin crocheting the first round. Make 3 turning chains for the double crochet, which counts as 1 double crochet. Then crochet 2 double crochets into the ring hole. Two chains. Continue with 3 double crochets in the same hole. Two chains. Next follow the pattern of 3 double crochets and 2 chains. Repeat twice. Once completed, tighten the yarn loop when fastening off. Gently pull the yarn tail. There's a loop that's moving. Tighten this moving loop. Finally pull tight the yarn tail. The loop is now secured. Join with a slip stitch to the top of the third chain of the beginning chain, which has 2 strands above. Make 1 slip stitch. Note not to pull too tight. And that completes the first round. Now work the second round. Make 2 chains. Then work an incomplete double crochet in each of the next 2 double crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Treat this completed stitch as a special DC3 tog. Then work 3 chains. In the next chain space work 1 single crochet. Then work 3 chains again. Then work 1 DC3 tog. First work an incomplete double crochet in each of the next 3 adjacent stitches. Then work an incomplete double crochet in each of the next 3 adjacent stitches. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. This completes 1 DC3 tog. Then work 3 chains. Consider from the previous single crochet to these 3 chain positions as a group. Regard this as a group. Next continue crocheting in this pattern for each group. After completing the last group, work 1 more single crochet, 3 chains. Complete the starting group. Finally join with a slip stitch to the special DC3 tog at the beginning. This completes round 2. Now proceed to crochet round 3, make 3 chains to start. Then work 3 double crochets in the adjacent chain space. Next work 1 double crochet in the single crochet. After completing that, work 3 more double crochets in the next chain space. Let's take a look. Treat the 7 completed double crochets as one side. Next, work 2 double crochets in the adjacent stitch. Chain 3 between them. Consider these 2 double crochets and 3 chains worked in this stitch as a corner for this round. Then continue following the side and corner method. Work this entire round completely. After finishing the last side, at the beginning position, work 1 more double crochet, 1 chain, then make a half double crochet to join. This completes round 3. Now let's crochet round 4. Make 3 chains to start. First work 1 double crochet into the last chain space of the previous round. Then work 1 double crochet in the starting chain of the previous round. That is, the same insertion point as the joining half double crochet. Next, work a double crochet in each stitch around, one by one. After completing, take a look. Count from the double crochet made in the starting chain to this double crochet position as one side of this round. Then work 2 double crochets into the corner chain space, 3 chains, and 2 double crochets. Consider the stitches worked into this chain space as a corner of this round. Next, continue following the method for sides and corners. Work this round completely. Finally, into the space of the beginning, work 2 double crochets, 1 chain, then make a half double crochet to join. To complete the starting corner. This completes the 4th round. Next, refer to the pattern. Finish crocheting the remaining rounds. The crocheting method for round 5 is the same as for the 4th round. In round 6, work single crochets and chains into the chain spaces. At the sides, work single crochets along the stitch positions. The last 2 rounds are worked the same as motif 1. Note, color change is needed for the last 2 rounds. The second to last round is worked into the back loops only. The double crochets in the final round are worked into the stitches of the round before. Now, refer to the chart and complete motif 2. When finished, leave a yarn tail, fasten off and weave in ends. That's it for one motif 2. Next, refer to the chart. Crochet all the required quantity of motif 2 pieces. That concludes the instructions for motif 2. Once all motifs are completed, refer to the diagram and position the pieces correctly. For convenience in explaining, I'll divide the pieces into 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect the first 3 rows continuously. The last 2 rows have 2 motifs each. Leave a space of 1 motif in between for the armhole position. When joining, align the corresponding sides and corners of the motifs, and join them together using slip stitches. Note: rows 4 to 5. Leave the space open without joining. Take 2 motifs. There are 2 situations for joining: horizontal joining and vertical joining. The joining method is the same. You can choose to join horizontally or vertically based on your preference. Below I'll demonstrate the method for horizontal joining. Here I'm using sample pieces to demonstrate. The work piece is for demonstration only and not meant as a reference, only showing the joining technique. Pay attention, the motifs should be staggered. Slip stitch into the back loop only of the slip stitch at the corner. Place them one above the other. Then pick up the nearby half loop and join. Take the yarn for attachment. Here for convenience in watching. I'll demonstrate using a contrasting color. Start joining from the chain at the corner. If the corner is a slip stitch, insert from the right side to the wrong side. Pull the yarn through. Then on the corresponding chain of the upper motif, pick the nearby half loop. Insert from the right side to the wrong side, and crochet a slip stitch. Pick the nearby half loop of that stitch. Now the 2 motifs are joined once. Next, insert into the fabric piece below, slip stitch into the adjacent stitch nearby half loop. Pay attention, always insert from the right side to the wrong side. Then insert into the upper fabric pieces nearby half loop, and crochet a slip stitch. Now they are connected once again. Let's take a look. Joining means alternately picking the stitch of the motif, and slip stitching into the nearby half loop of the chain. Continue all the way down until this motif is completed. At the next corner, pick the chain near the stitch. Once finished, the 2 motifs are joined together. Continue by taking 2 more motifs. Pay attention. They should be staggered from the previous 2 motifs. Then continue along these two motifs. Join with a slip stitch into the nearby half loop. Same as before, start joining from the chain near the corner stitch, keep joining until the next corner, into the half loop near the stitch. Now another two motifs are joined together. Next, everyone continue to join the motifs in this horizontal row. Once completed, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. This is the method for horizontal joining. Next, continue using the same horizontal joining method. Crochet all the horizontal joining positions. For rows 4 to 5 later on, you'll need to skip the motif positions. After joining the first two motifs, fasten off and weave in the ends, then skip one motif, reattach the yarn and continue joining. Next, I'll explain vertical joining. The method for vertical joining is the same as horizontal joining. First, follow the same method as horizontal joining. Join the two adjacent sides of the motifs. Start joining from the chain next to the stitch, just like before. Continue joining up to the half stitch near the corner stitch. Once completed, when you reach the horizontal joining position, insert your hook roughly into position and make one slip stitch as a bridge. Then continue joining along the top two motifs. At the slip stitch position, also pick the half stitch closest to it. This is the method for vertical joining. Now continue to join all the vertical joining sections. After joining, just leave a yarn tail, fasten off and weave in the ends. Note: The spaces left open in rows 4-5, later on do not need to be joined. That's it for vertical joining. Once both horizontal and vertical joining are done, finally join the motifs at the shoulders. Here you only need to join horizontally. Join the 2 outer edge motifs, each to the inner 2 motifs with horizontal joining. The motif in the middle does not need to be joined. Now please complete it on your own. Up to this point, the main part is completed. Next, add the edging. Crocheting in rounds along the outer edge of the joined motifs. Now, let's show. Here I'll continue to demonstrate with a swatch. First work the first round. Work a corresponding number of single crochets along each motif. Note, always work into the back loops before working. Locate the motif in the middle of the shoulder part that hasn't been joined. Then mark the stitch right in the center. Note, this is just a swatch, so the marked position is not for reference. Next, find the corresponding motif on the first row below, and also mark the center stitch. When crocheting up to this stitch later, the pattern will have one extra stitch. All details are marked on the chart. Now begin round 1. I start crocheting from the corner motif. Join yarn into the chain stitch at the corner, working into the back loop of the stitch. Make 1 beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position as joining the yarn. Then work single crochets evenly into the back loops of each stitch. Once the stitches of this motif are completed, reach the corner chain space. Here, to make the joining hole smaller, you can skip this chain and leave it unworked. Work at the joining position, or crochet into this chain. Then do not work into the next piece's chain space. Pick up approximately 1-2 strands at the joining position and crochet. Skip here and leave unworked. Then continue working single crochets into the back loops of the stitches. Repeat this process. Work around the outer ring motifs. When you reach the joining position, repeat this process. Skip the chain of 1 motif and leave it unworked. Work at the joining position. After completing the marked stitch, move the marker. When you reach the corner of another corner motif, work chains between single crochets into the back loop of the chain stitch. If it's a slip stitch, also pick the back loop to crochet. The method is almost the same as motif 1. Continue to work this round completely. When you reach the starting position, work 1 single crochet into the remaining chain. Then work 1 chain, finally join with a slip stitch. Do not tighten. This completes round 1. Similarly, Change colors later on. Leave this loop at the back unworked for now. The method is the same as motif 1. Next, work round 2. Take the corresponding color yarn. Pull the yarn through. The method is the same as motif 1. Then work 1 single crochet into this slip stitch. You can continue to mark if needed. Then along the stitches of the previous round, pick up the back loop of each stitch and work a double crochet. When you reach the corner chain, pick up the back loop of the chain and work a single crochet. Continue to complete this round. Finally work 1 chain, then join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. So round 2 is complete. Next, continue to finish the remaining rounds. The following crocheting method is almost the same as motif 1, only the pattern of double crochets is slightly different, and when you reach the marked position later, the number of double crochets here is slightly different from other positions. Just follow the chart to crochet. Note, all the double crochets here are worked by picking up the stitch from the previous round. Next, finish crocheting the edging, so the edging is complete. Now let's learn how to crochet the sleeves. Crochet around the armhole position. Divide it into sleeve body and cuff edge. First crochet the sleeve body, then join the sleeve body together. After that, crochet the cuff edge around the sleeve body. For the right sleeve, join the yarn at the back motif and begin crocheting. For the left sleeve, join the yarn at the front motif and begin crocheting. The crocheting method is the same for both. Now I'll demonstrate using the right sleeve as an example. The new stitch technique used is double crochet decrease. Attach yarn to the leftover chain stitch at the corner of the lower motif. First work row 1. This row is worked around the 4 motifs at the armhole position. Note that the underarm motif is not crocheted. Similarly, work the required number of stitches on each motif. The chain between double crochets also counts as 1 stitch, and you need to skip the corresponding number of stitches below. Note that my motif has fewer stitches here. Start with work 3 chains as beginning chain. Then along the stitches of the motif, work 10 double crochets evenly into each stitch. Including the beginning chain, this makes a total of 11 double crochets. Then work 2 chains. Skip 2 stitches below. Continue along the stitches of the motif and work 10 double crochets. When you reach a chain space, pick up the chain and crochet into it. Similarly, to make the hole smaller at the joining point, you can skip 1 stitch on any motif without working it. Work the crochet at the joining position. Then work 2 chains. Skip 2 stitches below. Next, continue along the stitches of the motif, and work double crochets into the remaining chains. When you reach the joining position, handle it using the same method. After completing the corresponding double crochet, work 2 chains, and skip 2 stitches below. Finish this row. Note: finally work 11 double crochets, matching the starting position. So the first row is completed. Now start crocheting the second row. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Then work 2 chain spaces. When working back and forth, turn the work before continuing to crochet. The turning chain corresponds to the last stitch of the previous row. The 2 chain spaces correspond to the 2 adjacent stitches. Skip 2 stitches and work from the next adjacent stitch. Note: after turning, the stitches are positioned at the top left. Work 6 double crochets. Then work 2 chains. In the chain space of the previous row, work 2 double crochets. Work 2 chains. Skip 2 stitches, then work 6 double crochets. Note: starting from the second row, always pick up stitches to crochet. Let's take a look. This row except for the beginning and ending is working 1 double crochet in each of the middle 6 double crochets from the previous row. Work 1 double crochet in each of those 6 stitches. In the chain space, work 2 double crochets. On both left and right, work 2 chains. Continue this way, complete this row. After finishing the last 2 chains, work 1 double crochet in the top of the beginning chain from the previous row. Pick up the top loop of the third chain of the beginning chain and crochet. Now the second row is completed. Next, crocheting row 3, make 3 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work. Then work 2 double crochets in the next base chain space. Work 2 chains. Then work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches between adjacent double crochets. work 2 chains again. Then in the next chain space and stitch, work 6 double crochets in a row. Continue this process. Complete this row. Finally, work 1 double crochet in the top of the beginning chain. Now the third row is completed. From here, refer to the chart, and continue crocheting up to row 8. When crocheting later, refer to the chart for each row. Change the positions of double crochet and chain stitches, and after making the beginning chain, always turn the work before continuing to crochet. Once completed, begin row 9. Work 2 chains as beginning chain. Turn the work, then work 1 double crochet in the next base chain space. Treat this double crochet and the beginning chain as one special double crochet decrease, meaning the beginning chain does not count as a stitch. Then continue to follow the chart. Crochet all the way until the last stitch before the end. Finish with 1 double crochet decrease. First work an incomplete double crochet in the chain space, and another in the beginning chain. Then yarn over and draw through all loops in once. That completes the double crochet decrease. The double crochet decrease is now done. Row 9 is now completed. Next, everyone continue to refer to the chart. Crochet the remaining rows of the sleeve body. Pay attention later to follow the chart. Decrease stitches on both sides at the corresponding row numbers. And check the chart every row. Change the positions of double crochets and chain stitches accordingly. After finishing, it will form the matching lace pattern. Next you'll crochet this part on your own. Once completed, start by joining the sleeve bodies. Attach the first 7 rows on both sides to the motif at the underarm. For the remaining areas, join the corresponding sides of the sleeve edges. Before joining, use stitch markers to temporarily secure them in place. First mark here at row 8. Then temporarily attach the first 7 rows to the underarm motif at a few points. Do the same on the other side. Once secured, proceed with joining. Here I'll continue to demonstrate using a swatch. Joining should be done on the wrong side. First join the first 7 rows to the underarm motif. Note that in my swatch there are fewer rows. Here, work single crochet and chain stitches along one side to join. For the sleeve body, pick up stitches along the side edge. When the back side of the motif is facing you, insert the hook into the strand of the stitch closest to you. First join the yarn. Inserting into the chain at the corner of the motif. And the first row side edge of the sleeve body simultaneously. Pull the yarn through, Make one beginning chain. Continue with one single crochet in the same place. Then work one chain. You can adjust the number of chains here based on your hand tension. Next, insert the hook into the adjacent stitch of the motif, picking up the strand closest to you. For the sleeve body, pick up the next row adjacent. Work one single crochet. Then work one more chain. Then skip one stitch on the motif. Insert the hook into the adjacent stitch, picking up the strand closest to you. Pick up the next row on the sleeve body. Work one single crochet. Then work one chain. Repeat this process, joining one side of the sleeve body to the motif position. Once one side is joined, proceed to join the other side. Again, insert into both the motif and the edge to crochet together. Adjust the motif position as needed based on your work. Skip 1 or 2 stitches. After joining, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. Next, join the remaining rows on the side of the sleeve body. Here, insert the hook into the stitch on the edge of each row simultaneously. Work single crochets. Chain between them for spacing. The method is identical to the side joining. Now join the sides of the sleeve body on your own. If after joining, if the space here is too large, you can work another round at the previous joining spot. Finally, leave a yarn tail, fasten off, and weave in ends. This completes the joining of the sleeve body. After finishing, crochet the cuff edge. Start with the first round. From the last row of the sleeve body, join the yarn in the beginning chain. Make one beginning chain. Then refer to the chart. Work single crochets along the stitches and chains of the last row. Note, always crochet into the back loop only, and after working the corresponding number of stitches, skip the required number of stitches. Follow the chart to crochet. Continue until the stitch before the last one. Because the next round requires a color change. Take the yarn in the corresponding color for the next round. Draw the yarn through. Complete this single crochet and finish the color change. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. So the first round is completed. Now let's crochet the second round, working 2 chains as beginning chain, then work double crochets into the back loop of each stitch from the previous row, corresponding 1 by 1. Work this round completely. Note, the last stitch is also an incomplete double crochet. Don't miss the first stitch position. Work 1 incomplete double crochet. Then pull the yarn from the previous round through. Join with a slip stitch to the first double crochet at the beginning. Pull tight. So round 2 is completed. Now let's crochet round 3. Make 1 beginning chain, then work single crochets into the back loop of each stitch from the previous round, evenly corresponding. Work this round completely. Similarly, the last stitch is an incomplete single crochet. Then pull through the yarn loop that was just paused from crocheting. Join with a slip stitch to finish. Now everyone, please crochet round 3 completely on your own. Next, continue to follow the chart. Crochet the remaining rounds of the cuff edge. Note, from now on except for the final round, each round ends with an incomplete stitch. Then pull through the yarn of the other color. Then join with a slip stitch and continue crocheting. Then join with a slip stitch, and crochet the next round. After completing the last round, do not change color. Simply finish with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn, and weave in the ends. That concludes the cuff edge. 1 sleeve is now completed. Next, continue using the same method. Crochet the other sleeve as well. Start by crocheting into the motif at the armhole. Once the sleeve body is finished, first, join the first 7 rows to the underarm motif. Start joining from either side of the wrong side. After completing that, join the side edges. Finally crochet the cuff edge. Next, complete the rest on your own. Up to this point, the sleeves are explained. The entire garment is now fully explained. If you still have unclear parts during the crocheting process, feel free to ask questions. Don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.